Hello, everybody. How are you? So, this is my third react of the day. I've got another one that is processing right now, and it'll be up in a little bit. I want to sit down and do one final retro react for the day. And for those of you that are animal lovers, those of you that have pets, this might really upset you. But I'm doing it in the interest of giving an animal a voice that never really had a voice. This has nothing to do with BBJ or Sam, which were Chantal's former cats that she chose to give away to other people. This has to do with another pet that was in the house with her and Pete's that unfortunately did not make it out alive. This has to do with Timbit. For those of you that were not around during the time of Crackhead Olympics, where Chantal was living at the Canadian villa, there was another cat in the house besides BBJ and Sam that unfortunately was also suffering. Timbit. Timbit was Pete's cat. Timbit, unfortunately, was a cat that suffered with feline leukemia. Chantal, although she claims to be an animal lover and to love animals, when she and Pete moved in, Chantal could have had BBJ and Sam vaccinated so that Timbit could have left Pete's bedroom and wandered all over the house, but she didn't. And because Timbit had feline leukemia, which can be deadly to other cats, Pete kept Timbit in his room. And unfortunately, the cat did not live in the best conditions. Pete's room was a sloppy, dirty, disgusting, filthy mess. Pete didn't even provide proper bowls for Timbit to eat out of. As a matter of fact, Timbit was eating off a piece of a cardboard box. Also, Chantal, if she was an animal lover, she could have, knowing about Timbit's condition, there were 2 bedrooms in the villa. There was her room with a balcony, and there was Pete's room. If Chantal really cared about animals, what she could have done was tell Pete, look, I know that you have your cat. I know the cat really can't come out of the bedroom because I refuse to vaccinate my cats. So here's what. You take the room with the balcony, and I'll take the smaller room. And that way, at least Timbit can go out on the balcony and sun herself and get some fresh air. But she chose the bigger room with the balcony, despite the fact that she never really went out on the balcony. She just wanted the room with the balcony just because. So poor Timbit, in her time at the villa, she did not make it out alive. She passed away after living in horrible conditions. And the react that I'm doing today has to do with the night that Timbit passed and Chantal showing complete insensitivity to the situation. So for those of you on my channel that you might be sensitive to seeing or hearing about an animal's passing, I understand if you don't want to watch, but I thought today's react would be all about giving an animal a voice that never had one, to highlight how insensitive she is to just not people, but also to animals. So today, Timbit has a voice. And I'm going to give my thoughts and opinions to Chantal's insensitivity. So this react is courtesy of a channel called Hot Wasabi. And I'm going to leave a link for the original video down below in the description. The video is called Foodie Beauty, The Night Timbit Passed. Let me just go ahead and pull it up on the screen. One moment, please. And I'll bring it right up. And there we are. Let me just back it up a bit. All the way up. Before we get into the video, though, let's check out the comments for Hot Wasabi's video because other people had things to say as well. Ren says, remember, if Chantal had vaccinated her cats, Timbit could have been let out of the room to live in the house. That's true. Also, something of note that I found out, even after Timbit passed, Chantal's cats, they were let into Pete's room, which could be deadly to them. When a cat has feline leukemia, you've got to clean everything to make sure that any animals that enter into that space don't catch it. And the cats came in, which could have put them at risk. Jackie B says, I'm in a better mood. I think my edible hit. I'm grieving too. The Den says she let Pete alone with his grief. She's such a liar. Yes, she did. She said many times that someone else's pain and suffering, their emotional state, their mental state, it's not her responsibility. And yet she continuously gets online and tells people about her pain and suffering, and she expects everyone to care. Dabby Sutton says Pete was trash to Timbit. He let the poor cat live like garbage in his room. She ate food from a completely wet cardboard box. Nowhere in sight bowls for cat food, nothing. Cat food was scattered everywhere, wet from that completely drenched in water cardboard box that served as a base for the animal's food. Pete did not care much for the poor animal at all. No, he didn't. Timbit lived in terrible conditions, closed 24/7 in Pete's smelly, disgusting room with zero lights. Who remembers those conditions? I do. The rare times that Pete was in his room and showed the room, I was appalled. I was absolutely appalled. That even if you have to keep a cat enclosed in a room, there's ways to make it livable to where they're comfortable. You know, have an open space where they can run around and do zoomies if they want to, or just, be free. Pete did nothing to clean up that room. And I also remember seeing pictures on Twitter of Timbit's feet. Timbit had ingrown nails, just like BBJ did. And again, nothing was done. So that's Pete's bad because that's his cat. It's not Chantal's responsibility to take the cat to the vet, but he failed in his responsibility as a cat owner. So in my opinion, they're both trash. They both are. They're both awful with the pet care. Let's see. Moving on. Tater Lorette says, no, they never let animal control in. They left letters on their door because they didn't answer. She's ridiculous. So yeah, animal control came by more than once and they never answered the door. The one time that they did let animal control in, animal control, they can't take the animals and do tests on them to make sure they're healthy. All they can do is walk in, look at the living conditions, and make comments on that. And animal control did tell Chantal and Pete they had to clean the place up, and so they did. But more than half the time when animal control came by, they had to leave letters because they refused to answer the door even when they were there. Let's see. Sarah Hansen says she was lying about BBJ's age. When FFG rescued her 2 years ago, the vet said probably she was 17, but we'll say 18 to be safe. So she's only 19 to 20 now. Yeah, she lied about her age. Eurobeat fan says, quote, maybe he wants to be alone. Shows that she never actually checked in on him because she'd know if he wanted to be alone or not. Well, even if he wanted to be alone, she could have been a good friend and stayed at the house just in case he needed her, just in case he needed someone to talk to, because sometimes people go through shock. Like if they lose a person or they lose a pet, it takes a while for the shock to diffuse, to settle into where you're the grief hits you. She could have stayed at the house with Pete just in case he needed her, but she didn't want to. She wanted to be with Natter. And then when people confronted her about it, on her channel, she got mad and defensive, saying, I'm not responsible for the way he feels. No, you're not responsible, Chantal, but if he was your best friend, wouldn't you want to be there for your best friend in their time of loss and mourning, the way that you expected and demanded almost that he be there for you when you were sad? How many times did you run to Pete's when Natter made you sad? Or rather, wasn't Pete's there for you with your grandmother's passing? He sat in the room with you numerous times when you were having breakdowns. He was just sitting there being a comforting presence. No appreciation? Nothing? Okay. Let's see. Let's see. What else we got here? Grateful Little Farm says, Hot Wasabi, these videos are so important. People need to know the truth. Yes, they do. And that's another reason why I'm doing this retro react, because there are people in girl world that remember Timbit. They remember Pete's having Timbit and Timbit suffering. There are others that don't know. So I'm here to highlight Timbit because a lot of people don't know and they need to know. Super Design Chick says, Pete can call if he needs anything. A real friend wouldn't have gotten high AF so she could get to her friend if needed. She's too high to drive. Her stupid act is exhausting. Yep. Yeah, like if your friend calls in their grief when you're somewhere else and they say, I'm freaking out. Like I'm spinning in my head. I need you here. How are you going to be there for them if you're high? You're at somebody else's house and you're high. How can you possibly get to them? You can't just drop everything, get your keys, get in the car and go. No, because you're high and you're going to use that excuse. Oh, Pete, I can't come to you. I'm so high right now, man. That's what she would do. Ren says, the fact that she keeps saying they put the cat down because it was suffering, makes me wonder if the vet said, well, if you do this treatment, she'll get better and have more time. And Chantal said, nah. Yeah. I really hope that Chantal did not talk Pete's and just letting Timbit go and knowing Pete's he would agree. I hope that didn't happen. But given her personality, it might have happened. What else we got here? Is that it? I think that's it. That's okay. That is okay by me. We're going to get into the video itself. And once again, thank you so much, Hot Wasabi, for putting this video out there, because Timbit, it's been a while. People might have forgotten Timbit, but I'm here to let people remember, or for those that don't know, to inform them that animals being sick around Chantal, neglected, it's a thing. It's definitely a thing. This has been going on for years, and considering the way she's treating Julia, it's not stopped. So how about we just get into this, y'all? Let's get into it and let's talk about it. Let's go.
Like that in like 2 seconds. One day she just started crying, like, and couldn't get up, and she like started going to the washroom. Sorry, it might be disturbing. She went number 2. Like she was acting really weird, so we brought her to the vet right away.
If a cat is crying when it's trying to use the litter box, that might be kidney issues. That might be a UTI that needs to be fixed. So that's a warning sign that something is seriously wrong.
And I remember like Swordfish that day being like, don't go, you're supposed to come over, blah, blah, blah. And we're like, too effing bad. So to say that I always chose that loser over everything else is also a lie, because there's no way I was leaving him to not go with him, please. So anyways, we went to the vet, and, they had to put her down because she was just like passing away. So.
1 second. Let's go all the way back. Sorry about that. Let's start from here.
What justice for Timbit? What justice? The fuck?
Well, we can't give much justice because Timbit is gone and she's crossed the Rainbow Bridge. But I think giving her a voice today will be partial justice as much as we can give her. So she won't be forgotten.
Oh my God. How did 19 people like that in like 2 seconds? One day she just started crying like and couldn't get up, and she like started going to the washroom. Sorry, it might be disturbing. She went number 2. Like she was acting really weird, so we brought her to the vet right away. And I remember like Swordfish that day being like, "Don't go. You're supposed to come over." Blah blah blah. And we're like too effing bad. So to say that I always chose that loser over everything else is also a lie, because there's no way I was leaving him to not go, like not to go with him, please. So anyways, we went to the vet, and you know they had to put her down because she was just like passing away. So
I think Timbit might be sick.
oh, hold on, what's wrong?
Wait, and he himself.
So this was, I guess, the day that Timbit passed. So she wasn't at Natter's place, I guess, when this occurred. She's got a live stream going, and Pete is coming into Chantal's room saying something is wrong, and she's about to cut the live stream. But Natter was nowhere near her. So here's Pete with some very distressing news, and she just said her words out of her mouth that I guess she called Natter. For some reason, she called him, and Natter was telling her to not deal with it. She was nowhere near him. So why does Natter even matter at this point?
Oh shit. Okay, I gotta go, guys.
And then she makes a community post saying, "I'm very saddened to announce that after I ended my stream, we had to rush Timbit to the vet emergency as she collapsed and suddenly became very ill. Timbit had suffered with feline leukemia for a while now and is 17 years old. With the recommendation of the veterinarian, we all decided it was best to have Timbit euthanized. I'll be spending the rest of the day and evening with Pete's. Not sure when I will be live again." Notice this post is all about her. Timbit wasn't even her cat, and she's making it all about her. And I love that part of we decided. We decided. We. Although Timbit was not her pet and it wasn't her decision, we decided. Chantal, did you talk Pete into doing this? Did you? Saying we? And that was Timbit. That's a picture of Timbit. And people were going in on her, as well they should. It's okay to need space from people you love. Yeah, that's Chantal. If something gets too complicated, if there's no self-gratification, then she'll distance herself. And there are some comments from people saying, can't believe you let Pete alone his first night without Timbit in 17 years. Wow, Chantal. Wendy says, don't ever be surprised at what the beast is capable of. Her behavior knows no depths. And here she is getting defensive, saying, shut it. This person says, I'm still grieving the loss of sweet Timbit. And then she says, yes, me too, but I still need to eat dinner. What? Huh? Odd response. Insensitive response. And then she gets more defensive, saying, oh, okay, some of you need to seriously STFU with this BS of blaming me for being a bad friend of Pete's. Well, you are a bad friend. I literally support him in almost every way and maybe not as emotionally available as you think I should. But Pete's is my good friend, yes, but he's also a grown man. He went to bed after putting Timbit down. What am I supposed to do? Wait for hours for him to wake up? He knows I am here if he needs anything, and I will see him again soon. Don't worry. I'm tired of it, and I'm blocking everyone who gets on my nerves. I'm allowed to be with whoever I want at this time. Chantal wanted to spend time with Natter, period. Full stop. That's where she wanted to be. That's who she wanted to be around. And Natter didn't like her being around Pete's. So he pulled on her leash and said, you have to be over here. And she wanted to be over there anyway. So she went over to Natter's place on the night that Timbit passed. And anyone who's ever lost a pet, you know how painful that is. You go through different phases where you're broken up, you're in shock. And then as everything starts to creep in, it really starts to hit you, and then you just lose it maybe for a little while or for a long while, depending on who you are. Chantal didn't even stick around to just be there to make sure that Pete's is okay, because Pete's did suffer from depression.
So here's the deal. I was in a bad mood before I went live, and now I think my edible hit, and now I'm in a good mood. Not a good
And
mood.
why was she in a bad mood? She was in a bad mood because people in the comments were giving it to her. They were absolutely giving it to her. They were getting on her case for being insensitive and for being a bad friend and not being there for a guy that she swore over and over was her best friend. She says that. This is my best friend. But yet she's not acting like a best friend. The moment that he has something life-changing happen to him, she disappears. So she was in a bad mood. And now she's like, oh, I feel better. I had an edible.
But I'm not as bitchy. I don't even know what to say. I am big mad. Misha, like, what the hell? You guys are accusing me all the time of being a shitty friend of Pete's. And I'm, like, really, really good to him. He's not even mad at me right now, so he's not bothered. Maybe he wants to be alone.
Pete's is someone, he's very passive-aggressive. And he's very submissive to Chantal. I think anybody who's watched him for 5 minutes can tell that. Like, he is so under her thumb. He's so intimidated by her that I'm sure he gets mad at her, but then he's too afraid to speak that anger outward and let her know when she's wrong or when she's doing wrong or she's wronged him. He just bottles it up. He swallows it. And then after a while, all of that resentment and rage and bitterness, it builds up and it boils over. So he swallowed it. And Pete's, because he's so submissive to Chantal, she being the more bossy personality, if she wanted to go to Natter's, he's not going to say, no, I want you here. I need you here right now. Stay with me. He's afraid of her. He's afraid of her anger and her outburst. He's going to keep his mouth shut and go, it's okay, Chantal, I'm good, when he's not good. He would rather bottle up his pain and his suffering and his grief and his mourning rather than ask the question of, can you stay with me? He doesn't want to be on the backside of her anger. So he avoids it.
Like, hello? Like, I was there for him. I brought him there. I was there with him when it happened. I paid for everything. And I was with him after. So, I mean, I don't know, like, how much more supportive I can be. He's one text away, one phone call.
So in her mind, she took him to the vet. She paid for the euthanization. And she's like, I was there. And I did these things. I don't have to do any more. Like, we're friends and I paid for things. What more do you want from me? Just be there. Be there for a friend. Sometimes that's all they need. You paid for things? Good. But what about just hanging around? No, you didn't want to hang around.
I'm just sick of people who I think are friends or who just, I don't know, just like turning on me and like thinking the worst of me. Like, that's just, it's annoying, you know? Like, he went to bed. Like, he was, when he's depressed or whatever, like, he was sleeping. What am I supposed to do?
How do you know he was sleeping? How do you know? Just because he went to his room and he shut the door? What do you know? A person goes in the room and they shut the door. You don't know how they're feeling. You don't know how they're doing. What if he went into his room and shut the door and went to his bed and cried all night? You don't know. You don't care. You're not checking. You're not asking questions.
It's okay to have a question.
And again, don't mistake me, y'all. I am not a fan of Pete's. Not a fan. Never will be either. The way he treated BBJ on camera, he can go get screwed for that. I want to talk to him in Minecraft about that. Grabbing onto an elderly cat's face when she's got rotted teeth and oral issues, grabbing onto her face and saying no mercy. Yeah, you can go get screwed, Pete's. Wrong is wrong, dude. Not a fan. Not a fan. I also got a problem with the way you had Timbit living before she passed away, living in filth, no proper food dishes, water dishes, not cleaning up the space to where the cat could be comfortable because that bedroom was all she had. You as a cat owner weren't doing your due diligence to see to her care, to see to her comfort. As sick as she was, you could have provided comfort, Pete's. A clean space, Pete's. Wouldn't have cost you anything. But going back to Chantal, her part in it, she was being a bad friend. Very bad. He's a trash human, but so is she. The way she handled things.
Yeah, like everything's here. My machine, everything. Like I want it, like for me, this is like coming back home in a way. Like,
I have my CPAP machine at Natters. I got my stuff at Natters. So for me, it's like coming back home in a way. Yeah, but it's not your home. It's your crash pad for when you and Natter party. That's where you prefer to be because that's where he is. And you didn't like the idea of Natter being alone because, ooh, Natter might be sleeping with another woman that's not you. And what if that woman takes him away from you? You're blocking the person who's supposed to be abusive from being with other women. Twisted.
Animal control came today. Actually, funnily enough, on the day of when we had to bring Timbit. Because you guys already know that people have been like and saying that the cat
and there was litter boxes that hadn't been changed in months, very little food, filthy environment, moldy pots everywhere, y'all. Moldy pots. Her smoking party favors and stuff and green all over the house, which is not good for the cats. I mean, rotten everything everywhere. Filthy environment. Animal control told them to clean it up. It was just that bad. And then I'm not answering the door half the time because they didn't want to deal with animal control.
And for days on end with no food. So they came and they looked at everything. They didn't even like.
Chantal, I will never forget how you kept running out of food for the cats. When you went to the pet store, you'd only buy a few cans at a time for 2 cats. 2. And the dirty litter box's girlfriend. Dirty. Dirty. Dirty.
They just like looked around and like saw the cats and they saw Sam and like, I'm saying that, Jamie Carpenter, what I do for him, because you guys are accusing me of, like, you act like I'm, like, evil to him. Like,
you are. You're evil, period.
Evil. Like, I'm not, I want to say this, like, really, really emphasize. You can love somebody, but still, you're not responsible for their happiness, okay? I'm not responsible for Pete's happiness. I'm not responsible. And yes, I know that sounds insensitive. He's grieving the loss of his cat. If I wasn't being supportive, it's up to him to tell me. Not for you guys to just be like, oh, you're a shitty friend because you didn't stay a few extra hours, or you should sleep at home with him tonight. Like, he's going to be grieving for a while, guys, like, and for
you might be grieving for a while, but just be there for the initial shock of it all. Just be there for him. Even just in presence, it helps. Just knowing that your best friend is in the house makes you feel better. And by the way, Chantal, just because you said what you just said, you are not responsible for other people's happiness. So maybe you should stop coming online, crying about this and that, griping about this and that, telling people all about your health problems and, oh, I'm hurting today and I'm so sad. Stop making it everybody else's responsibility to make you feel better. Stop coming online and sharing all of your problems, which you inflict upon yourself. It's nobody's responsibility to make you feel better. Physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, it's nobody's problem. Your problems are your problems, girl. Your problems belong to you. They are yours. Deal with them or not. But you're missing sensitive over there. I'm not responsible for this, but yet you come online. If you stub your toe, the world has to know. If you run out of food, the world has to know. You run out of toilet paper, the world has to know. We got to know everything. You put it out there on Front Street. You guys, you got to know when I'm having a bad moment and you expect your VIPs to make you feel better. At the same time, you're not there for people in your real life when they're going through something.
For me, I am grieving too. I've had this cat. We bought her together in 2005, a year after BBJ. I'm grieving.
So if that's true, if you are hurting over Timbit, why aren't you sad? I don't see any sadness here. You don't look sad, just speaking her name. You don't look sad to me. I'm grieving too. I don't see it. And I know that people grieve in different ways, but I see nothing. I see nothing. You weren't attached to Timbit. How could you be? Timbit didn't belong to you. Timbit was sequestered all by herself in a room away from everything, out of sight, out of mind for you. And you weren't even there half the time anyway. You were running off to go see Natter for weeks at a time. So no, Chantal, you didn't care. You didn't care for her suffering. You weren't going to Pete's and saying, I know Timbit is with you. Does she need anything? Does she need any extra food? Does she need some toys? Does she need a cat bed? Do you need anything, Pete's? Can I help you? You weren't doing that. You knew there was a cat in the house that was sequestered all by itself in a room, and you weren't helping the way you could have been helping.
Grieving too. Like I was bawling, actually bawling when we brought.
Where are the tears? Where? When you are ugly crying, which is what she's talking about, what happens, y'all? Anybody ugly cry? Anybody? I'm sure you all have. We've all ugly cried. It happens. When you ugly cry, your face gets swollen, your eyes get swollen. I mean, you're a mess. Even after you're done crying, you still see the physical evidence that you were ugly crying like nobody's business. I don't see any evidence here. Don't see it.
Brought her in. And for me, like, I want to relax with my friggin' machine, which is here. And I just want to, like, grieve in my own way. So why am I being villainized for wanting to grieve in my own way?
And how are you going to grieve being over at Natter's? Natter did not like animals. He didn't like Pete's. So even if you wanted to grieve, how are you going to do it around Natter when he doesn't like Pete's and he doesn't like cats? If you try to grieve in front of Natter, he'd say, what are you doing? And get mad at you. So no, you're not going to grieve with him. He's not an animal lover that's going to understand and go, I know what you're going through. I know. He's not going to happen.
Do you know what I mean? So what happened, basically, this is disturbing, so if you don't want to hear what happened to Timbit, then just don't watch right now. You know how I had to, like, pop off my live stream, like, in very suddenly because Pete came out of his room. He woke up, I guess, and he heard Timbit, like, whatever. But I think Timbit's sick, so I go in the room. She's lying down, shallow breathing, like, really shallow breathing, and, like, she was crying, like, you could tell she was in pain, like, Wah! So first she peed herself, and then she pooed herself.
Poor thing. This might be tough for you guys to listen to. I apologize, but this is just to highlight how insensitive and cold-hearted she is. But this might be hard for all of the animal lovers to hear. But again, this is about giving Timbit a voice that she never had. Because there was a tragedy happening in that house with that cat. And Chantal didn't care.
And she wasn't lifting her head. Like, she looked a bit frantic, like I was petting her. So we took her to...
So do y'all notice something? So she's talking about this distressing situation revolving around Timbit. Like, Timbit is in high distress. Something seriously wrong with her. They don't know what's wrong with her. Pete's woke up and just noticed this thing happening. And she allegedly loved Timbit. And so she's relating this story, and she's not crying. She's not upset. Any pet owner just talking about a bad experience would be visibly upset.
To an emergency. Did she have a stroke? They don't know. Like the vet said, definitely we did the right thing. She felt like she wouldn't have lasted much longer probably. And sudden onset like heart problems can happen in cats, especially overweight elderly cats. Because she was just eating last night. Like he heard.
Hold on. Put the brakes on. Timbit was never overweight. Never. You guys just saw the pictures of her. She was not overweight. Poor thing was sick. She was the opposite of overweight. She was underweight.
Her eating the crunchies and everything. She was like a couple years younger than BBJ, so she's about 17. And she had feline leukemia virus, which that alone, they were surprised that she did so well for so long. She had trouble walking, and she was probably already in pain, and even Pete that was the best thing, you know. 17, yeah, she was 17, and BBJ's 19, and the animal control lady, she was so nice, and she said, I went and got BBJ, and she said, wow, BBJ, she's like, this cat is really good looking for 19 years old. She's like, I could just feel, she's got a nice coat, and Sam.
And again, animal control, when they come by, they're not a veterinarian. They can't do blood tests. They can't do blood work. They can't give a real examination. There's only so much they can do. So just because an animal looks fine on the outside doesn't mean the inside is okay. Obviously, she wasn't okay. We found that out later through FFG. So she wasn't okay.
And she saw Sam. He was hiding, but she said, wow, you don't look underfed. My place wasn't spotless, but she said, you know, like there wasn't any concern, like everything, there was no like cat crap lying around. And I said, sometimes he gets dingleberries and they fall off, you know, and then I pick them up. But why is that insensitive, Jamie? Like, what the hell? It's my Instagram. I'm still allowed to like grieve and still allowed to like eat and post things.
So this is what she posted. That she was grieving. She was grieving, right? But she posted food pictures on Instagram. Yeah, she was really grieving.
Like, it actually takes my mind off of it. I don't see why that's a bad thing. It's not like I'm posting my friggin' tits. It's a picture of food. It's food, yeah. People eat, Jamie. Didn't you? Were you born yesterday? People eat. Look at that. Does that make me a bad person for eating? I don't know. I don't get you people just ready to jump down my throat over every little thing. And you're looking for reason, for signs that I'm a bad friend of Pete's. Why are you looking to be so negative?
We don't have to look for signs. Nobody has to look for things to show that you're a bad person. It is what it is. You're a bad person, period. Done. Over. You're bad. You suck. You suck. You're a bad person, Chantal. You don't have to look very hard. I mean, things are just everywhere, you know?
Fucking lighten up and be happy in your fucking life for a change. Like, I don't get it. Like, what the hell? He knows I'm here. If, like, I'm not, yes, I don't like sleeping there, like, right now. Like, I'm in love. I'm in a relationship, and...
Oh, God. I don't like sleeping there. I'm in love. I'm in a relationship. I want to be with my boyfriend.
I know it's hard for some of you to accept, but that's how it is with me right now. Literally, you get picked apart for everything. It's weird. I know. Literally, like, worse than most YouTubers. Give me a break. You have to admit that. Name one YouTuber who gets scrutinized more than I do on YouTube right now.
So notice what she just did. The topic started on Timbit and her being insensitive to Timbit. Now we're doing the deflection part of the stream. She's pivoting away from that. And she's making it all about her. I get attacked so much. Da-da-da-da-da. Marsha.
Name one. Besides Amber Lynn. So Timbit story. So that's it. So she was put.
Yeah, you know, for someone who's mourning and grieving, she's so heartbroken. She's laughing a lot, isn't she?
Sleep because she was suffering. You know, such a great friend. Just kidding. Damn it! I'm telling everyone to shut the fuck up. Onision. No, I'm not Onision. Like, you guys seriously see me that bad? Like,
yep.
Seriously, Onision level? I wish you guys knew me. I'm not throwing everything out. Bad seed. Did the best I could. And yeah, I felt guilty. I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm going to get heat for that. I think that all the time. I know what I'm going to get heat for. Oh my God, I'm going to get heat for, should I stay a few more hours? Like, he was sleeping. What do you want me to freaking do?
You know what? Chantal likes to rail against what people have to say of the things she does, the things she says, her bad reputation, and yet she doesn't really do any course correcting where she says, wow, there's so many people, they don't like me, they hate me, I've been terrible, and maybe I should do things to counterbalance that or counteract all that stuff. She just continues to do bad things. We haven't seen her be a good person to show that she's changed, that she's better, that she's a changed individual. It's all bad. She does negative things, therefore she gets negative comments, negative opinions, negative feelings. It's like she's fishing for the negative. She doesn't ever fish for the positive. It's just negative stuff everywhere. This is all by her own design. If she cared, she would try to be a better person. You know, think before she speaks, think before she acts, do good things from the heart if she had one. Do acts of charity, do things of generosity and not expect anything back. Try to be a better person as best she can. She doesn't do any of that.
Dude. Yes, I've checked on him several times.
Sure you have. You're there with Natter. You're not going to get on the phone and check on Pete with Natter right there in front of you.
He's going to feel alone for a while regardless, yeah. Even my therapist said I'm not responsible for anyone's happiness, like, but my own. Like, yeah, codependency, Pete is not even, you guys are like, you have a freak attack, like, more than him. He's not even bothered, like, at all, you know? Jamie, he's not bothered. You're more bothered than him. It's not healthy to fire up a live stream whenever you're pissed. Well, you know what? Why not? Because, you know, you have something to say to me, let me fucking have it, and that's why I'm saying I'm baiting you out. I was fucking block you. I'm just kidding. Hi, Chantal. All I'm going to say is perhaps now you will take BBJ to the vet. She, like, even the friggin' vet said she looks half her age healthy. She doesn't need to go to the vet, but I'm going to take her, just not right this really second. Just give me a fucking breather. You know? So either vegan for life, I appreciate your donation, either just wait a while till that I'm ready to take her to the vet soon-ish, or I can refund your money. I have no problem. Like, I'm obviously, like, grieving every time I think about her. Like, I've had to see her. And
that was another reason why Chantal didn't take the cats to the vet. She didn't take the cats to the vet because she didn't want to be bothered with making the appointments and going to the appointments. She didn't want to be bothered with spending money on her pets. Okay, it was a nuisance to her. It's an inconvenience. If it doesn't involve her being gratified in some way, she's like, oh, it's a bother. I don't want to deal with it. Just not going to have it. Even when people pay for vet visits, she still didn't take them. She didn't even call a mobile vet to take care of what they could. She could have done that, did not do it. Plus, taking the cats to the vet would mean less time with Natter, and she wanted the most time possible.
Horrible pain, sick. And yes, I feel very bad that Pete is grieving. I can't imagine the pain because when BBJ goes, all cats need checkups. Yeah, but they don't need one like twice a year. I just brought her last year.
So, like, it was a year between vet visits. So, like, she waited like more than a year to take BBJ to the vet. And the only reason why she did was because of Roman, because he liked animals. That's the only time.
Anyways, every 6 months, everyone's a vet. He has no one right now. He has people. And you know what? He likes being alone. He's like that. He likes to be alone.
Sure, that's what he tells you. He likes to be alone. Then why is it, Chantal, Pete's always brightened up a bit when you were around? Like, he was always happier when you were taking him around to go do things. That made him so incredibly happy. Remember the time the two of you went to putt-putt golf? He was trying to play golf. He was happy spending time with you, but you were a grumpy, nasty mess the entire time because you didn't want to do it. But he was happy getting out and doing things.
Oh. Guaranteed if I was there, he'd probably be in his room. Like, I don't know. Brooke, I want to be here. No, for what? Okay, so let me explain. Sam doesn't have mats anymore. I use my dematter tool. He doesn't have mats. BBJ, she scratches her bald spots. She does this. She's done this throughout her whole life. Was it me who upset you on IG? All I did was ask if you were staying with Pete like you said we're going to.
We now know that BBJ doesn't have a natural bald spot. That got fixed by FFG.
Yeah, it pissed me off because I was sick of hearing people ask me about Pete's. That's why. Why are you people people so friggin' sanctimonious? What the hell? You need to bring your cat to the vet twice a year. Animal control came to my. You know what? I'm gonna do what I want. Call animal
Oh,
control.
by the way, Chantal, this is just a side issue, but I love the fact that you are not only in the house of the person that you claimed hurt you, but you're in his bedroom, and this person that you claim had did so much physical harm to you, you're not only in his room, but he's in bed next to you. I just heard him cough. So if you're around someone that allegedly hurt you and you're comfortable having your back to them, you are.
Control. They already closed the file. They already said now if they get calls, they don't have to do shit because they've come and inspected my house and my cats. And my cats are in better condition than they thought. Wow. I'm not opposed to taking them to the vet. I don't want people every single day saying, did you take your cat to the vet? Did you take your cat to the vet? It's like somebody picking at your sweater all fucking day.
And you could have shut everybody up by taking your cats to the vet and getting them treated. It would have shut everybody up, wouldn't it? Like if people are saying, take your cats to the vet, and then you took them to the vet and the vet treated them and they were fine, then you could have said, I took the cats to the vet, here's the paperwork, and then everybody would have calmed down. But you purposely didn't take the cats to the vet because you wanted people to tune in because they were worried about your cats. They were, you were not worried. They were worried, you were not. And that's exactly why you let things go on the way that they did. You were being sick and twisted and playing this game of, I'm going to use my pets being in distress to get attention for myself. And isn't it funny? You're doing the same thing with Julia. You did the same thing with Julia. I guess some things never change, huh?
That's it. Animal control has way better things to do. Well, that's what they even said. Like, it's sad that we get these calls, but why can't I post pics of food on my Instagram? I don't get that. I'm sorry. My eyeliner is so friggin' 90s. Look at it. Cold pencil black on both top and bottom. Listen, does anyone want to adopt Pete's? If you're so concerned? My cats are taken care of. I haven't even been gone for 5 hours from them. Yeah, nobody cares that. Yeah, exactly. I'm grieving too. Nobody gives a shit. I even said to Pete, I said I'm going to Natters because my machine is here, and I just want to I was seriously I just need to lay down and
Oh, about the CPAP. Chantal had 2 CPAP machines, 2 of them. So she could have easily stayed at the villa with Pete. She had a CPAP there. She didn't just have 1, she had 2. So using the CPAP as an excuse to be over at Natters, well, even if you do have one and it's at Natters, you know what you do, Chantal? You go to Natters place and you say, I got to go back to the house. I just came back to pick up my CPAP. I'll see you later. Done. Pick up your CPAP and go home.
I don't know. In my post, I said I was spending the day and evening, which was my plan. I did stay till 6, but he was sleeping. He wanted to go to bed. He didn't sleep. He went to bed at 8 in the morning and woke up earlier.
You know, if Pete cared about Timbit at all, which I'm sure he did, because he strikes me as the kind of person that his world is very sequestered, I want to say. Like his world is very tiny, meaning the space in which he moves is very small. He doesn't have a big world. He's very introverted and socially awkward. So the space in which he moves is very, very small. He sticks to the villa. He doesn't go anywhere. He doesn't have any friends. He's not social. He's very, I'm looking for the right word. I mean, his world is very minimal. There you go. It's very minimal in regards to his environment and to outside contact. And when you are like that, there's a lot of importance placed on what's in your world. So if Timbit mattered to Pete, I'm sure he didn't sleep well that night. I'm sure he didn't sleep at all.
Because of what happened in Timbit and being depressed, he just wanted to sleep. It's just where I want to be right now. I feel like getting emotional support from Natter.
I feel like getting emotional support from Natter, as if Natter cares about animals. He's not the one that needs comforting. Pete's is.
That's where I want to be. I need emotional support right now too.
You didn't want emotional support from Natter. You want to go over there and get high and party with him, and so you did. That's why you're there.
I'm gonna make people puke. Is everything there for like?
You know, her thinking is, I don't want to party by myself at the villa. Pizza's here and he's depressed. I want to go to Natter's place and party with him. That's much more fun. Bye. That's how she thinks.
He probably wants to be alone, honestly. Why can't I post pictures of food? You people make me so crazy. I don't get it. I don't care about Timbits. Why? Because I'm not there to watch Pete sleep? He doesn't have to watch my cats. Doesn't have to? Like, what do you mean watch them? Like, cats are high maintenance. They lick their ass and sleep all day. They're fed. Like, if anything, they'll probably help him because Sam, he loves Sam. And he doesn't admit it, but BBJ too. And they'll probably go in his room and he can leave the door open now. And they can go in and out. Oh, shut it, Shannon, then fucking leave. I've already kicked one Shannon out of my life this year. I don't mind doing another. There are hair mats. There's no mats. The animal control themselves felt them. Pet Sam, pet BBJ. Oh, they have nice coats. Because I do brush my effing cats and I take care of my cats. Very well, apparently. So well that my 19-year-old cat looks like she's 10. She has the health of a 10-year-old cat. So sorry I'm not running to the vet when somebody wants me to right away when she has nothing wrong with her. Anyways, are we making baba ganoush after? When's it acceptable to post food pictures, Jamie? Like, what's the time frame? When's too soon? Like, when's it enough? Like 48 hours?
And she's acting like this thing with Pizza and the cat, it was such a nuisance to her world. Like, oh, this gets in the way of my fun. I want to have fun. I want to do my thing. I don't want to hear about somebody else's pain. I don't want their pain to interfere in anything I have got planned for myself. Any beaters that come over here, are you seeing this? I mean, this is for you. This retro react is, a lot of it's for you. Because I want you guys to see how insensitive she is and how much she cares about people. And keep in mind, Pete is someone that has known Chantal since her high school days. They've known each other for going on 20 years almost? So if Chantal does not care for someone that's been with her through thick and thin, seen her at her worst, helped her at her worst, someone that was in love with her, someone that was engaged to her, someone that lived with her and bought pets with her, and she absolutely disrespected him, ruining his credit, taking his money, leaving him devastated, cheating on him. If she can't show respect or care or concern or empathy for someone that was in her life for 17 years, who did her no wrong, who their only crime was loving her, that was their big mistake. But if somebody like Pete, who gave her love, who gave her loyalty, and she's this insensitive to him, do you think you beezers stand a chance? Do you think she really cares about you when all of you are just people on the internet that she's never seen in person, never met in person, never sat down and had coffee with? You've not spent any real time with her. Do you think she honestly cares? If she's got a cold, insensitive heart? No. No, you're not friends to Chantal. You will never be real friends with her. And she really doesn't care about you. What she cares about is exploiting all of you and making you think that she cares. Pulling this ongoing con job of acting like a caring person when she's not. This is who she is. This is who she's always been. Chantal has moved through life hurting people, her family, anybody that tries to be a friend to her, guys that she gets involved with. There's a trail of bodies and lives behind her of people that she's ruined, wrecked, and affected. That's who she is, y'all. She's a walking, talking tsunami of a woman. This is who you're supporting. So anybody on that side of the fence, Chantal's side, those of you that think that you're close to Chantal, that she cares about y'all, no. No, I don't care how much money you give her. I don't care how many months you've had your membership, how long you've been subscribed to her channel. You will always be just a name on a screen that scrolls by occasionally. She don't care about y'all. Nope.
What? I seem so heartless? I don't know why. Just because I'm not there right now? Everything's set up here, my machine, everything. And I miss the cats though, but okay, what do you want me to admit to doing wrong? Being insensitive to Pete's feelings by not staying there longer? Okay, if you all think that, I apologize. When I get off here, I'll apologize to Pete. He's not even mad. That's the thing. You guys don't.
And Pete's is never going to go to Chantal. At this point in time, even if Chantal really ticked him off, understand the dynamics. Pete was living in the villa with Chantal. And after he was let go or got fired or whatever from his job, he wasn't working. He wasn't making money. He was relying on Chantal to pay the bills, to pay the rent. So he was in a position where he had to keep his mouth shut because the breadwinner of the house, if he ticked her off, then she would walk. She had the money and the means to walk, but he didn't want to screw that up. So he's just going to keep buttoning his lip and not say anything because he put himself in that weaker position by not having his own job, by not making his own money, by her being the breadwinner of the house. He's going to shut up and make sure he doesn't make her angry. So no, Chantal, he wasn't okay. And he wasn't okay with what you're doing, but he knew better than to speak it out loud. He knew better.
Hear what we talk about behind the scenes. We're a lot closer. Like, we're close, so we have an understanding. Needs anything, he knows to call me, okay? Unsubscribe. Okay. Are you still angry at Shannon? Have you talked to her? Yes, I still hate Shannon, and no, I haven't talked to her. I'm very friggin' angry and hateful right now. Can we talk about something else or what? Like, what do you want me to do? My constant chaos. What's my constant chaos? Why is my chaotic life means to hate on me? Why is going through things reason to hate on me? I'm not hurting you guys. I don't want to stop going live. I'm actually really happy right now. Like, right now in this moment, like, since Toronto, I've never been happier. I'm just really trying just to not let anything sabotage it. You guys are so negative.
Hello.
Anyways, I'm not going to block you guys because I don't care anymore. You guys know I care about Pete and I'm here for him. You know it. I'm allowed my own way of being where I want to be when I'm, like, doing my own grieving or whatever. Like, I can deal with this the way I want to. I need the pity right now. Nobody likes me. Don't like me if you don't want to, but you're wrong about me. You know what? If I do something, I'm going to own it, okay? He may have found comfort and rested easier knowing his best friend was just across the hall. Pumpkin spice. Did you seriously just give me $200? I can't go home right now, Goldilocks. I did check in on him. He said he was okay. He had dinner. No matter what I do, it's always bad. Oh my god, guys, I'm gonna go to bed soon. I just had a shower. I'm relaxed. Oh, Tintin. I didn't want to go live because I'm sad about it, honestly, and I don't really want to. I'm not really in a good space right now. I don't know what people expect when they say she doesn't look depressed. Do you expect me to be huddled in a corner shivering? I mean, I don't know what more. I don't understand. You think that there's like a universal response to depression? There's a universal way to, you know what I mean? Like, it's so ignorant to think that way. I don't know. It's like selective ignorance. What is this? I don't know. I don't know if selective ignorance is a term. I'm trying to sound smart.
I'm sorry. So I just watched this with y'all. I don't see a woman grieving. I see a woman annoyed with people basically calling her on her nonsense. She's laughing, she's giggling, yet she's supposed to be mourning, right? She's supposed to be mourning. I see a woman who is annoyed, very irritated that something happened to somebody else and it's interfering in her fun. That's the impression that I'm getting.
Okay, I gotta go. I need to sleep.
She's not going to go to sleep. She and Natter stayed up all night partying. She's not going to go to sleep.
Okay, go for a friggin' Coca-Cola slushie, actually. Bye.
Sorry about that. I keep pushing the wrong doggone button. So that's it for the react, y'all. And again, I apologize if talking about Timbit and what happened with her just stresses you guys out. I get it. It's hard whenever the talk of animals comes up. It's difficult for those of us that are pet owners. It is really, really difficult. But I didn't want Timbit to be forgotten. I didn't want Timbit to be forgotten at all. So it's time to give Timbit a little bit of a voice and just point at the direction of how insensitive Chantal is to animals and to people. So I'm going to leave a link down below for Hot Wasabi's video in the description. I encourage you guys to check out Hot Wasabi's channel and all of their content. And I hope you guys have a good day, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Until then, take care of yourselves and each other. Bye.